bondage cat, dom cat, panties cat. Excuse me? All of these are like being sneakily served to my kid where I saw nothing about any of that. The description that the App Store had, millions of kids are being impacted. So a year ago, my 9-year-old came to me and said, Mom, I'd like to download this game. It was on my iPad, which I sometimes lend him to play games on. So I did my due diligence, checking the age. It said 9 plus, my son is 9. Great. Description, it looked kosher, like it was just about these little kittens playing games, like battling against each other. And I looked at the graphics to see what it looks like. Is it age appropriate? And finally looked at reviews to see if anybody had anything negative to say about it. Everything checked out, and my son started playing the game. About a week into it, my 11-year-old lets me know that he just saw something that didn't look exactly appropriate. So I take a look at it, and my son is now being served these characters to upgrade to. Things like skirt cat that works really great with sexy legs cat, or panties cat, or bondage cat, dom cat. Excuse me? All of these are like being sneakily served to my kid where I saw nothing about any of that in the description that the App Store had up, right? I post about it in my Instagram stories because I'm still, it's like, what the hell? And I thought it was just a fluke of this particular app. So this was like literally a year ago. Didn't even think it was like a big thing or that this is happening on a large scale. Cut to a month ago, I read the Rotten Ratings report from the Heat Initiative and Parents Together Action that hired researchers to look at the App Store and determine if it's safe or not for kids. They researched 200 apps. You might remember that if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen a reel about this, where in this report, they're showing all of the different ways in which the App Store serves inappropriately aged apps to kids as young as 4 and up. I wish I could say I was shocked at Apple at this point. They did a slice, 200 apps, downloaded 550 million times, like millions of kids are being impacted, accessing apps that are not for them. What's even worse and makes it even grosser is how sneaky, because for the first week, all the cats, I looked at the game, like I even remember checking in like that for the first few days, watching like what he's playing. All of the characters were totally normal. Make it make sense. What I am furious about is the fact that it wasn't just this fluke that happened to me last year. This is happening on a mass scale. And why is Apple doing this? So what I found out through this report is even more disturbing and alarming, and why I'm making this video, because we need to take action. So how Apple does the ratings, like other video game, like Nintendo and Xbox and all of these, like they have to get the rating, right? For like they have to go to a third party to get vetted. Just like movies, TV shows, I mean, toys even, like it's not even a thought for Apple. Like they do it in-house, and the way that they do it is that the app developer is given questions that they have to answer about their game, and then determine based on their answers where they would rate themselves. And then they pass it over to Apple. Apple's very small team, like they've invested very little in creating a team that can vet these thousands and thousands and thousands of apps that they get every year. Apple's team either just like is bypassing verification marks, maybe they're overwhelmed and overworked. I mean, I don't know what's going on. It almost feels intentional at this point, because much like with these apps, like they're just not looking for bad stuff. I feel like I've heard this before in other situations with Apple. So It feels like there's a pattern here. Anybody else see that? Is it just me? So there's that. Along with the fact that I'm frustrated, like that these ratings are worthless, right? These ratings, what's the point? Apple doesn't care. Apple's not even liable. So of course they wouldn't care. They get their 20% cut and they just keep letting the apps come through.
Obviously, the App Store generates somewhere north of $20 billion per year for Apple. It's one of their remaining key growth areas as part of that services organization.
There's no incentive for Apple. And I think that Steve Jobs would be ashamed. I think he's rolling in his grave right now because time and time and time again, Apple continues to fail at child safety. It's just like all the other tech companies that are putting children's safety last. I think it's time to divest in all of these things. That's what I'm personally doing. I'm not saying you have to, but that's just an option. Another amazing option is to make your voice heard through this RallyStarter that Parents Together and the Heat Initiative have put together so that you can let Apple's leadership know what you think and the fact that we're not okay with this and this needs to change. If you're going to create products or pass along services that are geared towards children, or are meant to be for adults, they need to be properly rated. You need to invest in a third-party standard system because what you're doing right now ain't working and it's frankly a joke. Apple leadership, I am calling on you to do the right thing. You can be the leader in the industry and shows other companies what responsible tech looks like. So if you're with me, be sure to comment below, let me know, and I will send you the link to the RallyStarter so that you can make your voice heard and check out the Heat Initiative and Parents Together Action. If you want this report, just comment below and let me know. I will send you all the things. Thanks for joining me today. I hope that you are going to make more informed decisions about the tech in your home after watching this, and I will see you next time. Be sure to subscribe.